The first thing she noticed wasn't the suit. It was the way he held the folder, carefully, almost protectively, like it carried something more fragile than paper. Martha Grayson had spent 22 years cleaning the marble floors of the Whitmore Financial Building. She had seen hundreds of men in suits walk through those glass doors, confident, rushed, important. They all blurred together eventually, but this one made her stop. Maybe it was the way his eyes moved, quiet, observant, taking everything in, but not in the usual cold, calculating way. Or maybe it was something deeper, something her heart recognized before her mind could. She tightened her grip on the mop handle, watching him from across the lobby. He approached the reception desk, offering a polite nod. "I have a 10 a.m. with Mr. Whitmore," he said. His voice was calm, grounded, familiar. Too familiar. Martha's chest tightened. No, it couldn't be. She took a step closer, her shoes squeaking faintly against the polished floor. The young man turned slightly, and for a brief moment their eyes met. And just like that, the past came rushing back. A small boy sitting alone by a window, a pair of worn-out sneakers too big for his feet, a quiet smile that never quite reached his eyes. Martha's breath caught. The mop slipped from her hand and clattered against the floor. "Sir," her voice trembled louder than she intended. "Sir, that boy lived with me in the orphanage." The entire lobby fell silent. The receptionist blinked in confusion. A security guard turned his head. Even the ticking clock behind the desk seemed to pause. The young man froze. Slowly, he turned toward her. Their eyes locked again, this time longer. Searching. Remembering. And then something shifted in his expression. Not recognition at first, but something softer. Something close. "I'm sorry," he said gently. Martha took a few unsteady steps forward, her hands shaking. You don't remember me, do you?" she whispered. He hesitated. "I'm afraid I don't," he admitted. "But I'd like to." Her lips quivered as she let out a small, broken laugh. "You used to sit by the window every evening," she said. "Always watching the road. You said maybe one day someone would come back for you." The young man's face changed. Not dramatically, just enough, like a memory brushing against the edge of his mind. Martha wiped her eyes with the corner of her sleeve. "You wouldn't eat unless I sat with you," she continued. "And you hated carrots. Said they tasted like sadness." A faint smile tugged at his lips. "I still don't like carrots," he said quietly. And just like that, the distance between them disappeared. Martha covered her mouth, tears spilling freely now. "Daniel," she breathed. "Your name was Daniel." The folder in his hand slipped slightly. He didn't correct her, didn't deny it. Instead, he looked at her like he was seeing something he had lost a long time ago. "No one's called me that in years," he said. The receptionist shifted awkwardly. "Sir, Mr. Whitmore is expecting—" "Give me a minute," he said, not taking his eyes off Martha. A minute turned into several, because suddenly nothing else mattered. "I thought about you," Martha said. "For years, after you left. No one told us where you went. You just disappeared." Daniel exhaled slowly. "I was adopted," he said. "A family from Chicago. They changed my name, gave me a new start." Martha nodded, absorbing every word like it was something precious. "That's good," she whispered. That's good." But something in her voice didn't quite match the words. He noticed. "You don't sound convinced," he said gently. She hesitated, then sighed. "I just always hoped you were happy." Daniel looked down at the folder in his hands. For a moment, the confident man in the tailored suit faded, and the boy she once knew stood in his place. "It wasn't easy," he admitted. "But I made something of it." Martha smiled through her tears. "I knew you would." A pause. Then she glanced at the folder. "What's that?" she asked softly. Daniel followed her gaze. "This," he said. "It's a proposal." "For what?" He hesitated, then handed it to her. "Take a look." Martha frowned slightly, confused, but opened it carefully. Her eyes scanned the first page, then the second, and suddenly, her hands began to shake again. "No," she whispered. She looked up at him, stunned. "No, this can't be real." But it was. Right there in bold letters. A full-scale redevelopment plan. For the very orphanage she used to work in. For the place where Daniel had grown up. I bought the property last year, he said quietly. It's been abandoned for over a decade. Martha stared at him, speechless. I'm turning it into a community center, he continued. Housing, education programs, mental health support. Everything kids like us never had. Her knees nearly gave out. You're doing this? She asked. He nodded. I wanted to, he said. For a long time. Martha's voice broke. But why? Daniel looked at her not as a businessman, not as a stranger, but as that same quiet boy she remembered. Because someone once sat with me when I had nothing, he said. Someone made me feel like I mattered, even when the world didn't. Tears streamed down her face. You remember, she whispered. Not everything, he admitted. But I remember how it felt. The room was silent again. But this time it wasn't awkward. It was full of something unspoken, something powerful. Martha stepped forward, her voice trembling. I didn't do anything special, she said. I just cared. Daniel shook his head. That is something special, he said. More than you know. For years, Martha had believed her life was small, insignificant, just a cleaning lady in a big, indifferent world. But in that moment, she realized something extraordinary. Kindness doesn't disappear. It travels. It grows. It returns in ways you never expect. The receptionist cleared her throat again, more gently this time. Sir, Mr. Whitmore? Daniel glanced toward the elevator, then back at Martha. Would you come with me? He asked. Her eyes widened. Me? Yes, he said. You should be part of this. She shook her head instinctively. I don't belong in rooms like that. He smiled softly. You're the reason those rooms exist. Martha hesitated. Fear and doubt flickered across her face. Then something else rose to meet it. Courage, the quiet kind. The kind she had always given to others, but never to herself. She took a breath and nodded. Okay, she said. Together, they walked toward the elevator. Not as a businessman and a cleaning lady, but as two people connected by something deeper than time, something unbreakable. As the doors closed, Martha looked at him one more time. You know, she said, a small smile forming. You still hold things the same way. He raised an eyebrow. Carefully, she added. Like they matter. Daniel glanced down at the folder, then back at her. Some things do, he said. The elevator began to rise. And somewhere between the ground floor and the top, a boy who once waited by a window and a woman who refused to let him feel invisible found each other again, not by chance, but by the quiet, enduring power of humanity.